With Sean King, I'm Steve Bunin. Welcome to NFL Live. Happy holidays if you're celebrating. And I'll tell you who's definitely celebrating today, the San Diego Chargers, after blowing out the Broncos 23-3 on Monday Night Football in San Diego. They didn't really stay classy, though. The quarterbacks started jawing at each other. We're going to take a look at that and get your take, Sean, on that. The Chargers definitely decided they were going to establish the running game early.
I mean, look at the vision by LT. Cuts back, then he has such elusiveness in the open field, the ability to make a person miss. The most dynamic and complete running back in the National Football League. Norv has found a way to get him one-on-one in the safety, and he's going to win those matchups.
Offensive lineman taking care of business better, too. Tomlinson, 19 carries, a $107, and a touchdown. He's now #1 in the NFL in rushing. Phillip Rivers, third time in the last 5 weeks that his quarterback rating has topped 100, and this time he's spreading the ball around. Chris Chambers did have 4 catches.
And he was able to get more velocity than he's been getting. He was stepping into his throws. He seemed more comfortable in the pocket. They're going to have him play at this level to have a chance to win this first playoff game. I mean, but when Antonio Gates is making those kind of grabs, it makes it a lot easier.
That was his only catch of the night, but it was a dandy 11-play, 84-yard drive capped by the Rivers to Chambers touchdown. Rivers 17 of 25, 189 yards. And here's he gets into the shouting match with Jay Cutler. Have you ever seen that? Quarterbacks, Sean.
Well, this is the first time in a couple weeks that Phillip Rivers' teammates have actually talked to him, so he took full advantage of this opportunity.
Cutler looked like he was a little shaken. He had played very well on Monday Night Football in 2 games this season. This time, not so much. Ball knocked loose. Sean Merriman picks it up, and Luis Castillo comes back after 6 games out with an injury, sack, and a recovered fumble as well.
Ever since Antonio Cromartie has started playing at that high of level, this defense has regained that swagger that they had. Sean Merriman's going back to doing his dance. This is the Chargers defense that we remember from last year.
The Chargers win. Phil, still yapping with the victory. Chargers stay in control in the battle for the 3 seed in the AFC playoffs. They've got it with a win against the Raiders, who are giving Jamarcus Russell his first start in Oakland. Patriots, Colts, and Jags are locked in at 1-2-5. Titans and Browns gets tricky for the 6th seed because the tiebreakers are different if they both finish 10-6 than if they both finish 9-7. Basically, all that matters is the Tennessee game. Beat Indianapolis and they're in, no matter what Cleveland does. Lose and they're out, no matter what Cleveland does. Remember LT's slow start? We do this all the time. Oh, something's wrong. Well, it's long gone now. 18th in the league in rushing after 4 weeks. Now poised to become the first player to go back-to-back rushing champ since Edge in '99 and 2000. And as if you've taken a look at it, Sean, and you've broken down the game film, what do you see differently about what the Chargers have done with that running game?
Well, I think Norv Turner has become creative and found a way to get LaDainian Tomlinson one-on-one in the hole. When you look at this highlight right here, early in the season, guys were putting 7, 8, 9 guys in the box, and he wasn't able to get him to the safety. They were getting penetration. They didn't have the blocking assignments correct. If you see here, this is Campbell in the D-line making the tackle. As the season has progressed, teams have continued to do this, and right here they still didn't have it fixed. Guys are putting a lot of people in the box. He wasn't allowed to get started, but I don't know what happened. Norv Turner went in his bag of tricks, and he found a way to get a hat on a hat. And the Chiefs, same thing, 9 guys in the box. They find a way by pulling the guard, getting Lorenzo Neal on the edge to get LaDainian Tomlinson into the secondary, even against 7, 8, 9 people in the box. And like I said earlier, if you can get him one-on-one with those safeties, he's going to win because he's elusive and he's able to make one guy miss. I mean, this is just an unbelievable job by Norv Turner right here. Maybe Minnesota ought to watch a little San Diego Chargers film and find out how to get Adrian Peterson in this kind of space too. But the guy's dynamic, he's explosive. You can see he's been rejuvenated, and I think the San Diego Chargers are going to be a very dangerous team come playoff time.
That's 4 straight games of better than 100 yards after he really struggled up until the midpoint of the season, and now they're in line for that 3 seed. Now, only a couple of teams have reached the Super Bowl since they went to the new playoff format in 1990 from that spot, the '03 Panthers and the Colts last year. But this year it would seem like it's the best route in the AFC because you avoid New England till an AFC title game and you avoid Jacksonville as well. What do you think? How important is it to have that 3 instead of the 4, which Pittsburgh might get?
Well, I think it's very important, especially in the first round of the playoffs. If I'm a coach, it really doesn't matter to me who I play. I feel like my ball club can beat anyone we line up against. But if I had a choice, I would much rather play Cleveland or Tennessee as opposed to a Jacksonville team right now that's red hot, that has 2 dynamic running backs that are capable of producing in any type of weather, and a defense that's going to be physical and force us to have a difficult time putting points on the board.
Of all the teams in the AFC, besides the Colts, which of those, that's the Chargers and the Steelers, could be the Browns, who's the most likely to upset one of those two?
Well, I think I alluded to it earlier. It's the Jacksonville Jaguars. If you look at what they did at Pittsburgh, they went in against a very good Pittsburgh team in inclement weather, and they showed that they can still play Jaguar football. Jack Del Rio was a tough guy when he played. He's instilled that into his ball club, and they're going to line up and they're going to exploit what I think is the one true weakness of that New England defense, and that's down the middle of that defense. I don't think they're extremely athletic and dynamic at the safety and inside linebacker position, and Jacksonville's the team to expose that weakness.
If it does end up being Colts and Patriots, you've said that you believe Indianapolis is better suited for outdoor weather. Why?
Well, I think the way that the Indianapolis Colts are built offensively, you have Joseph Adai, who's capable of going in and controlling the clock. They have a ball control passing attack, and they have a defense that I think can hold up in that weather. The one thing that's been overlooked about playing at New England this year is that they've added field turf. So it won't be a situation where the field will be sloppy and it'll be bad footing, and I think that's advantage Indianapolis.
We'll be discussing the New England Patriots and their game against the Giants coming up on NFL Live. When we return, it's the Giants who say, let us play. Let us play. But is Tom Coughlin going to allow that to happen?
To the postseason.
Now, you may have missed some of the top plays. We didn't. But what's number one? Find out coming up on NFL Live. No truth to the rumor that Bill Belichick told the Patriots to put off Christmas till the season is over. He's taking it one holiday at a time. He'll do what's best for the holiday. This holiday, every holiday. What does the perfect team wish for this holiday season? With the team taking Tuesday off, Wendy Nix inquired on Monday.
In Foxborough, Wendy Nix, ESPN.
Thanks, Wendy. The Giants' holiday wish, let us play. Nothing to really play for other than pride in stopping that streak. Lots to risk. Sean O'Hara, the center, says, personally, I would like to ruin it for him. Let's do it. We're playing at home. We haven't played our best football at home, so I think it'd be a great send-off. Brandon Jacobs, who sprained his left knee this past weekend, said it would mean a lot to us as a team and as an organization to get in there and knock off a team like New England. And Antonio Pierce, linebacker for the Giants, we're not going out there to lay down for them, and they aren't going to lay down for us. But, Sean, should they? I mean, for Tom Coughlin, his ultimate responsibility is to his team. Should he play all of his starters? And if so, how much?
Well, I think he should play his starters because of what's at stake. You're talking about a New England Patriots team who's playing to be only the second team in the history of the National Football League to go undefeated. I think the New York Giants owe it to their fans, to themselves, to give the best effort that they can make. The thing that stands out to me is I wanted to see Eli Manning stand up. And Eli, I think, has improved greatly from last year to this year. But the last 2 weeks, he has not played his best football. I wanted to see him stand up and say, Coach Coughlin, we're going to play. Plaxico's going to play. Brandon Jacobs is going to play because we have some things that we need to get ironed out before our first playoff game.
There are 34 quarterbacks with a higher passer rating than Eli Manning since he came into the league with at least 800 attempts. So he hasn't put up numbers consistently. If he wasn't Eli Manning, he was just another quarterback for a team playoff bound, would it be different?
Well, I'm not sure. When you look at where Eli was drafted and the expectations that were placed on him, I think it would go on anyone in that position that was drafted to the New York Giants. And I don't place all of the blame for their struggles offensively on Eli. If you've noticed, they've dropped some passes that he's put right on the money. And I think some of the onus has to go to the offensive coordinator, Kelvin Gilbride. You saw in the Buffalo game, they made a concerted effort to run the football. Well, where has this game planning been previously when they've struggled to throw the football? So Eli has to take some of the blame because of his inconsistency, but I don't think he takes all the blame because they have more problems than just Eli Manning offensively.
What if you're a Giants fan who says, look, we got to rest the guys who are injured, or Brandon Jacobs, you don't want to risk him. If most of the starters or some of their key players aren't in, you don't want your star quarterback in there as well. It could be a catastrophe. What do you say to that Giants fan?
Well, I think, approach it like that. I think if you look at the New England Patriots, they play every game, every week like it's the only game that matters. It's not a situation where it doesn't mean anything, because I think every time you get the privilege to line up in the National Football League, it means something, especially when a team is playing to be only the second team in history to go undefeated.
Well, the Patriots started their perfect regular season with the win at the Meadowlands against the Jets, and now they're hoping to end it there as well. Much more to come on NFL Live, including a chance for you to head to ESPN.com, where John Clayton is already writing that the running game for the Giants is helping mask some of Eli Manning's serious shortcomings. Log on for more details. Still to come, Sean will hand out his stocking stuffers for the 5 teams vying for the final 2 playoff spots. What they wish for this holiday season. A lot of athletes give back during the holiday season, splurging for those in need. Chargers defensive end Luis Castillo did one better. They're actually about 25 better. He got about 25 teammates to participate in Shop with a Charger, where homeless, neglected, and abused children get to spend $100 at Walmart with a player. We followed Pro Bowl tight end Antonio Gates while he shopped with 2 teens and learned a lesson in the difference between shopping with boys and with girls.
It's Christmas time too, so you got jewelry, she got football, she got clothes, she got couches. Obviously, she was more decisive of what she wanted. I hear what we do as men. We take $100 and buy like 2 items. Yep. So he actually got 2 video games and a headphone set. So that just shows you women are more capable of handling money better. You know, they can do more with $100 than what a man can do with $100.
So the Chargers doing some good community work here on Christmas Day, and Sean, I know, brings a smile to your face. And what we want to know from you is how you would stock the stuffings for the 5 teams that are fighting for those final 2 playoff spots, one in the NFC, of course, and one in the AFC. Basically, what's number 1 on their holiday wish list? Now, it doesn't have to be necessarily that realistic, but what is it for the Tennessee Titans?
Well, Vince Young right now is tied for second in the National Football League with 17 interceptions. I want the old Vince Young back if I'm a Titan fan.
Which
I want
old?
the
How old?
fourth quarter dynamic guy that won football games. I still think he's there. This will be an opportunity Sunday for him to showcase the dance, Vince, dance.
Last 3 Colts-Titans games decided by a total of 6 points. How about for the Browns? What's your stuffer for
Well,
them?
if I'm a Cleveland fan, I went out and I bought my son or daughter a Peyton Manning jersey for this Sunday because I'm basically an Indianapolis Colts fan. I need Peyton in that bunch to make sure that it's Cleveland, not Tennessee, in the first round of the playoffs.
Tony Dungy says Peyton Manning will start, but Jim Sorgi will play, quote, at least a half. How about for the Redskins?
The Redskins have been in fuego. Just stay hot. Stay right there on top of the stove, baby. Hottest team in the National Football League right now. Todd Collins has stepped in. He's been efficient. He's been effective. Clinton Portis is rejuvenated. Scary team come playoff time.
If Todd Collins had enough attempts, his 107 quarterback rating would be 2nd in the NFL. How about the Vikings, who are at Denver?
We just want a little good Tavares Jackson if I'm a Viking fan. Just a little more efficient, fewer turnovers. Just give us a chance to get the ball to Chester and Adrian and don't lose ball games for us. He'll get better next year. Has a lot of physical talent right here. He'll learn from his mistakes. 5
picks in the last 2 games. He is the lowest rated full-time starting quarterback in the NFL. Finally, for the Saints, what's your stocking stuffer for them?
If I'm a Saint, I want this Reggie Bush. Last time we went to Soldier Field, this was the 25 we had. He's had a couple weeks. I think he's finally healthy. Now, Reggie, go out and show us why you were worth that draft pick.
Aaron Stecker, better yards per carry, more touchdowns and less fumbles than Bush. But here is the playoff picture. The Redskins control their own destiny. Beat the Cowboys, who won't be playing everybody. They've already said that. And Washington's in. Even if they lose, they advance if the Vikings and Saints go down. Vikings need a win and a Redskins loss. The Saints need to win and have both the other lose. There are more scenarios involving ties, but the NFL hasn't had a tie since 2002. So, Sean, time to put you on the spot. In the NFC, who gets to the playoffs? Washington, Minnesota, or New Orleans?
Well, I believe that where there's sparks, there's fire. And the Washington Redskins have been laying sparks the last 4 weeks. They've been playing phenomenal football. They've been finding ways to win football games. I think they beat the Dallas Cowboys at home, and they get into the playoffs in the NFC.
Well, the Cowboys have been very public about they're not going to play many of their best guys, nor will the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. How about in the AFC? Again, Peyton Manning will play, but may not play that much. So, Tennessee, knowing that, going into Indianapolis, or Cleveland at home against San Francisco?
Well, I think it's going to be the Cleveland Browns, and by default. I think the Indianapolis Colts are going to find a way, even though Peyton's not playing the entire ball game, to beat the Tennessee Titans because they don't want an AFC South opponent in the playoffs.
Keep in mind the last 1 seed to win a Super Bowl was the 2003 Patriots. Last NFC 1 seed to do it, the 99 Rams. When we return on NFL Live, the best plays of the week, we've lined them all up, counting them all the way down to number 1. But what is number 1? You might be surprised, so stick around to find out. As the holiday season winds down, the bowl season heats up. The Motor City Bowl, Wednesday night on ESPN, Purdue against Central Michigan. Coverage begins with a bowl breakdown special at 7 Eastern, kickoff 8 Eastern, 5 Pacific. Set your TiVo. Time to set it here. The top plays of Week 16. We start with the Giants, and it's Ahmad Bradshaw, the rookie from Marshall. 88-yard touchdown, longest run of the season in the NFL.
And no, this is not a man game. This is really how the weather was. He ran so fast, he ran the N off of NY on the side of his helmet.
Giants win 38-21, clinch the playoff berth. Both he and Jacobs, big games over 100 yards. How about Falcons, Cardinals, Anquan Boldin?
And then there's good, and then there's great, and then there's Anquan Boldin. Speechless.
400th career catch in this game as well, quicker than any other player in history. How about Fred Taylor? Finds out he's going to Hawaii because of the broken leg to Willie Parker. 7 carries, 111 yards against the Rays.
This is definitely clipping by the offensive line, but congratulations, Fred Taylor. Well-deserved trip. Finding some pineapple in this young man's diet.
69th career touchdown ties the franchise record by Jimmy Smith. How about Eagles and Saints? Maybe the craziest play of the week. Donovan McNabb on the run is good. This isn't so good.
He's finally healthy. You see the explosions back. You see the cutback ability. Andy Reid should be commended. This ball club still playing hard. Kevin Curtis hustling. Touchdown Eagles.
Kevin Curtis with the hustle of the year so far. Eagles win it 38-23. Number 1 play of the week, Packers and Bears. Brian Urlacher.
He could go. This 40 time is definitely a little slower than when he came out
at the
into
combine,
the trap, but it's still fast enough to score.
85 yards, clear eyes, full hearts, can't lose. His first career pick 6, and the Bears beat up on the Packers 35-7. How about the all-out player of the week in Week 16? Patrick Willis coming out of the SEC. What a season it's been. Heading to the Pro Bowl, 20 tackles, 2 sacks in the Niners win against the Bucs.
All Out Play, brought to you by NikeFootball.com. Leave nothing.
Time for some quick hits. Jason Campbell 50-50 to come back for the playoff game for the Redskins if they make it that far, although you said you think maybe they ought to stick with Todd Collins.
If it's not broke, don't fix it. Let Jason Campbell just watch and come back next year prepared to regain his starting position. But right now, I'd stay with Todd Collins. And
with that, we start our hurry-up offense to finish up the show in style. You think that Jason Campbell should not get the nod over Todd Collins. Which quarterback do you trust the most of the playoff hopefuls?
I'm probably going to say Vince Young. I still think in the fourth quarter that he'll find a way to win the ball game Sunday against Indianapolis.
And would you rather play a team for the first time or a division rival in the playoffs?
The first time. I want somebody new, have to adjust to what we do, not somebody familiar with.